Welcome. So this is a completely different video than usual. This will be about posters and we're in a different part of the house. I would like to continue on the Power Rangers, but to be completely honest, I'm an idiot. So I opened up all the boxes on camera, as you know, clearly, and then I promptly lost the other SD card with the remaining footage. So I hope I did not lose it in Japan. Let's put it that way. I don't know if it's flopping around the house, but we will have to postpone the videos for the time being on Power Rangers, and I need to resume the tubs upstairs since we finished off the basement pretty much. So I thought we'd go through these posters. There's a little bit of fun stuff in here. I actually have no idea what's here. This is posters I laid out to be flattened so I could sell them because everything was really tightly curled. And these are all vintage 80s. A lot of vintage original Star Wars movie posters are in here. Original ones too. And we'll talk about that a little bit versus like fan club smaller posters and stuff. It was a bonkers sale. So we have posters on the couch we're going through. We have a beam of light, which if I touch, I might burn. Oh, I guess not. And we've gone through some posters that are up for sale. And then we, of course, had like these crappy posters from this great movie called Aeon Flux, which is, you know what? If I go watch this film right now, it'll probably be better than the crap they're producing these days. How's that for that? But yeah, a lot of these posters are from a special sale we'll get to and talk about. Hopefully I'll add some photos from my camera. And then we have some old posters. So roughly I'm getting all the posters in one about 2 years ago. Look at this. We have Species posters, and they were signed. I went to an event there. I don't know who they're signed by. We got a couple of them. We didn't treat them that well, so I had to get those flattened out and see if we can bounce those out. Because that's the problem with posters and anything large in general is that do you have the space to display them? And I love to keep some of these vintage Star Wars pieces, but I will not treat them correctly. I will not have them framed on display, and it's just best to move some of this stuff on. So that's still pretty cool. I need to get that dealt with and put it in a binder, like flatten that out versus this big flattening, which took up the whole futon forever. We got some Rogue One. Oh, this is pretty cool on a side note. So these were Dragon Warrior in America, but in Japan it's called Dragon Quest. And there's another slime that goes to this display. So in Japan, the 7-Eleven stores were selling off, I forgot the name of it, this Niku, which is a meat type treat that they have in Japan, and they dyed them blue at 7-Eleven or Lawson. I think it was Lawson. And then they put them in the color and shape of the slime. And this is like 4 or 5 years ago, and they sold out within a day. Like they thought the promotion would last like 2 to 3 weeks. Nope, sold out. And then I was going through every Lawson looking for store displays. And I found one guy who just tossed it at 3 in the morning. And they're pretty hard to get, let's put it that way. So let's get back to the posters. We have some stuff that needs to get up. This one is a cursed relic of mine, to be honest with you. This is a Batman Catwoman poster. Really nice piece. I mean, that is a clean shot of her. And I had another poster of her laying down, and I had both of these put up for sale together on eBay. And this one guy kept messaging me every week and be like, sell me the one poster. And I'm like, no, because he kept offering this terrible offer. And it was like $75 for the pair, which is fair. And then the guy was like, no. So he ends up buying both posters and then tells eBay he only received one poster. And then, of course, eBay is like, that's terrible. How dare you do this, you evil seller? And then, of course, he returns one poster, and I give him a full refund. And that's one of the few times I remember where I fully lost out. This is great. So, again, majority of this is from, well, actually, if it's Star Wars, from this one sale we'll talk about in a little bit when we get to the big stack. This is a really uncommon poster. This Star Wars, I forgot, like this is like an F. They have them all numerical and how they came out. But this one actually is authentic. There are lots of fake posters, which we'll discuss in a quick second. And it was a great sale. I mean, just to get into it, actually, since we might as well just get into it. Pretty much it was on auctionzip.com. A man had passed away. He had a huge comic, statue, vintage Star Wars, and so forth collection. And it was magnificent. It was huge. And the gentleman ended up having a family member sell everything at auction, just one shot, boom. And they said that he had 2 apartments, and both apartments were completely jammed full of everything. Nothing was on display except these really creepy female green alien things that like only the specific crazy niche people have this fetish for. They're like only those 4 girls were on display. They're like 3.5 feet tall. It's the last thing they sold at the auction, and like everyone's like, "This is too creepy for us." That being said, everybody went there for Disney and for vintage Star Wars action figures, and a lot of the stuff was just, and a lot of things, and everyone just focused on the action figures. That was it. So Power of the Force, Sealed Falcon from original Star Wars. I mean, they went for really good money. Like one guy said, if you're looking to sell stuff, you cannot compete against people who are going to be paying full retail. Like it's just how it is. So that being said, I didn't win much of the vintage Star Wars stuff action figure wise, but because I noticed that everyone was really there for the action figures, the Disney, and a couple other things. There were some comic people and so forth. And I was like, started going through everything. And I found that they had literally just taken all the posters, because this auction house had so much stuff. They're like, we don't even care anymore. They took Jedi posters and shoved all the Jedi posters all rolled into one big box. The all Empire, one big box. Star Wars, one big box, et cetera, et cetera. And then they had other 80s films. It was just so much stuff. The whole place was just. That being said, nobody was going through the posters, and I had to be like subtle and quiet about this because people will just notice you getting up during the Disney auction because they already bought, a fair amount. Like, what's this guy up to? So I was checking the posters out, but putting them back quickly and like not like standing there researching everything. There was so much amazing stuff: Jedi, Revenge, Empire, full sheets, originals, and each box sold for like $150 for like 20 posters because nobody was caring. Like the whole thing after those action figures, everything went dirt cheap. It was amazing. So we have here, this is from the lots too. We have King Kong Lives poster. This one isn't big bucks. It looks, again, I'm not a King Kong person, but you have to admit that is some badass artwork. And most of these posters only run like 30, 40 bucks. I mean, there's just, the problem is so much fake stuff is out there. This is not from the sale. This is from like childhood collection of stuff. Like this looks like new type advertisement from the anime magazine. We got Young Blood. Yeah. And nobody cares about that. But yeah, a lot of people are online looking at people selling a Star Wars poster, let's say original Empire Strikes Back style A. And they'll see one guy selling one for 400, and then they'll see one guy selling it for 25 bucks. And most of the stuff out there is fake. And a lot of people are just thrown off on that. And it's hard to sell vintage original stuff because everyone's so concerned. Look at this poster. I mean, I'm not a Marvel knowledgeable person on posters from Marvel, but wow. That's really sweet. And that's like early, mid-80s, all those characters. So we got a lot of stuff like this. And this is a Return of the Jedi, not Revenge. And the poster size is smaller than normal. So this would be a fan club poster that you could order through like Bantha Tracks or other places. So these posters, though they are original, they don't have big bucks behind them. And you can see I have 2, 3, because the guy was ordering a lot from the fan club. And I didn't really understand the comprehension. I didn't really understand most of the size issues when I was buying this stuff. I was like, oh my God. But as I said, we're going to get to all this original. That's like the full posters in there. We've got lots of Close Encounter posters. These were actually worth a lot more because they're more uncommon. Here's like the Mothership. We are not alone. And I was getting on average about like $50 to $100 a poster, especially during 2023. That was great. Oh, this one's just fascinating, weird stuff of the 80s. So they're selling the VHS tapes, which are big sale, big money. And that's this VHS tapes flying with the speeder bikes through Endor. That's actually more horrifying. If I turned around and saw a speeder bike with a biker scout firing at me, like, okay, I understand what's going on. It's not a good situation. I may die. But if I turned around and saw VHS cassettes flying to attack me, I'm more concerned now what the hell is going on. So I thought that was a fun piece. Not big bucks. When it comes to the actual movie posters, people will pay. Condition obviously is the issue. But once you start getting into the fan club, promotional items like this, unless it's a concert poster, which are unique and very rare, but stuff like this is given out all the time, 30, 40 bucks. That's it. And let's see what we got here. This is the creme de la creme. So this is what we were talking about earlier. This is the famous Star Wars poster. So funny enough, I was able to pick up an actual real style A rolled, and it was in absolutely gorgeous shape. And then I picked up a folded one in, I think it was a C, where they folded like a trifold or something. But this one is a fake, and we have a number of them. And I'll add a photo right there. If you look at Luke's belt, you'll see a hair. And that is one of the tall tale signs of this fake, which was used, in which they actually used, if I'm correct, the actual printing plates at the company, and they rolled off a number of these in like the late 80s or early 90s, and they go for like 50 to 100 bucks each because people still want something that's nice and full size, and just, it has a little bit of like an odd history to it. He had 3 of those stuck in there. I couldn't believe that. What is this poster? Oh, it's a Humphrey. We had a bunch of old, these are not original, but like movie posters from the 40s tossed in there. So here's a little freebie, 2010 Alien Anthology Collection little giveaway. And it's just fun stuff like that, but now they make so much of that stuff, it's ridiculous. Here's stuff I have to get up, and a lot of these posters have wonderful, unique artwork that was never shown again. So this would be a Coca-Cola or it's a Dawn detergent posters. If you bought in the store like 4 detergents of Dawn, they give you a free poster. And again, 20 to 30 bucks. So again, this is no giant logo on the top, but as you can see, this would be a fan club promotional poster. When Jedi came out, a lot more stuff. So if you look at Star Wars, a lot of stuff was made, sure. Empire, a lot of stuff was made. But when Jedi came out, everyone knew that that movie was going to make a ton of money. So a lot more companies came on board and just started making tons and tons of stuff. That's why you see so much novelty stuff for Jedi, because so much was produced from all the various companies, and they just, dead store stock after all these years. So these are 4 posters. I think they're still fan club. I could be wrong. Someone can chime in. That's a nice clean one. Nice Jabba with Leia. Give me a big smooch. And they're like 15 bucks each. Then we also picked up a number of Indiana Jones posters. These were again like promotional. These are weird too. These are clean Temple of Doom by 7-Up. And if you flip them over, 4 pieces will make a giant poster of Temple of Doom. Same thing, like all 4 is like 50, 60 bucks because people would find so much excess stock of these in warehouses over the years. But yeah, lots of great stuff there, and we're now going to hit the big pile. So it's kind of like an unboxing because I have no idea what I shoved underneath here, and I didn't finish off the last of the posters. So let's handle this now. I'm actually excited, to be honest with you. I really don't know what's cooking. Yeah, so like the last box of posters they had for sale was the newer stuff. So this is a Force Awakens, and it's see-through. This was like the whole box of like, again, 20 posters from the newer ones, like 50 bucks. Nobody cared. People are already walking out. I think there was 2 posters in here. I don't think the market's gone up on this stuff, to be honest with you. I can be wrong, but it's not what I was really after. But I was like, I'm buying. The car was so filled, I couldn't get anything more in it. I did my best to pack it beautifully. Okay, so this should be a fan club Vader due to the size, and that might be 30, 40 bucks. I need to get this stuff up so badly. I thought when I was walking by this stuff for like the last year, I kept thinking most of it was on eBay that was already curled up, not the stuff underneath that's been flattened out. And I found out after I'm going through the stuff now, like, oh no, you're an idiot. Only like 10 pieces are on eBay. This is sweet. This is the Jedi poster. This is our promotional piece. but the way it's set up with that glow, yeah, that is neat. Star Destroyer down there. And that's like 50, 60 for that one. In most of this stuff, you can just find it. It's not hard to find most of these posters. Then I have some weird stuff that just gets caught in here at times. Like, I don't remember ever even owning this. I don't even know where it came from. I didn't remember seeing this in the pile until this moment. And that just shows you how crazy I am, because I don't remember half of it. There's another one. So yeah, I'm letting the posters just slide down here. So he have a Jedi. And that again, because the size, is a fan club. So this is a great demonstration here. The guy's name was Chet. So this is how the fan club would send out the posters to you in the early 80s. The earlier stuff actually said like the fan club on it. This is a little bit later on. But this is how they were sent out. And again, 50, 60 bucks. No one's really excited. Nobody even cares that it has the original shipper. And that's the way the world goes, man. Here you go. This is a non-find. This would be Elvin Lied, signed to Frank. If it's laminated enough, I can actually use lighter fluid without ruining the paper and get rid of the to Frank and erase him from history and then sell the poster because it's signed. But we need to get down below. Look at this. That face is a little awkward. Hildebrandt original poster. Same thing. Not the full giant size movie poster style. So, nobody cares about sports cards. I really don't know what's here. Oh my God, look at this. Celebration 5 posters all rolled up. Random. Oh my God. Fight for. So Square Enix 2006 posters. To give you an idea, these are all like Final Fantasy type looking posters. The whole group is like 20 bucks. Like that's just promo stuff, as I was mentioning to you. Okay, guys. We're here. Finally, after all that ranting. Look at Japanese posters. We got some really neat stuff just buried underneath here. Oh, my Dawn. Oh my God, I put a Dawn print. I am actually getting excited here. Get the slime out of here from my store display. Such happy memories of the early Dragon Warrior days. Remember the metal slime? So this is Cadillacs and Dinosaurs. This is a large poster, but kind of a print because it's laminated very nicely. This is vintage too. This is probably about mid-90s and signed. There was so much signed comics and actual comic art, which we'll get into my success and my failures of when bidding on that artwork. But I like Cadillacs and Dinosaurs, so I was going to keep that piece. One of the few pieces I was like, you know, here we are. Here's a limited edition, one of 250. The prices for these things was like $10 each. It came out to. It was absolutely just crazy. There's Jack Tanrick and Hannah Dundee. So everyone loves Cry for Dawn, and this was again a limited print of 400. Probably paid like 15, 20 bucks for that. Classic Dawn stuff is just, even the comic itself was beautifully written. So now we're gonna get the funky stuff. So we have an original Japanese Return of the Jedi poster. They're more difficult now. A lot of Japanese posters are uncommon, but if you wanted them, you can find them pretty available. None of this stuff is rare, but it's really different how they laid out all the images. And of course, people just love Japanese text in general. Is there anything else in there? No. So that will probably... I might have to let that go. Look at this. Here was lot 214 with the Falcon stickers. It's round there. So you got Japanese posters, Japanese signed John Alvin. So I guess that's the artist that did this piece. Yeah. So this is signed by him. So we have first 10 years. And on the back side, we had Return of the Jedi teaser. And again, I went for like absolutely just ridiculous. You're in the heat of the moment and you spend you spent a ton of money as it is already. And then you walk away going, oh my God, I'm pretty happy with what I bought. But then like 2 weeks later, like, oh my God, I should have bought more. So these have a little bit of wear, but these were $24.99. Were these from, oh my God, what's that mall store? It's been a while. So these are nice. These are much more difficult to get. The episode 2, 3. These are more popular now. Again, not rare, but these could be 50, 60 bucks each. You got, ooh my God. Again, I haven't been to this stuff since I laid it off to be flattened out. We had to get the vintage stuff down here. So I have no idea what I'm pulling out. Here's an episode 3 teaser. That is, if I don't even remember that one, to be honest with you. That one actually might have more value, being how uncommon it is. But at that point, they were producing this stuff for the collectors, and there should be a lot of this stuff out there. This is the full episode 3 poster, and this is, people are coming back to episode 3. Especially kids in their 20s now are really picking up and collecting the toys. So it's been really interesting to watch, like, people contact me for episode 3 action figures, which has never happened before. This is from a different deal. These are original Nintendo store displays I was flattening out. We got Zelda, Ocarina, Rogue One. And these are thicker board posters. This is from a Nintendo find. But they all came tightly rolled. I needed to flatten these puppies out. And they look much better than where they were before. So we'll work on that. Oh, look, now we're getting to original stuff. Look how poorly these things are wrapped. Well, framed. It's just, oh my God, they taped it. Oh. So these were sold to the fan club. And they did like Leia, they did Luke, they did Darth Vader, as you can see. And they're still out there in number. The Leia poster is like more famous because it's more of an uncommon pose for her. You can get like 70, 80 for her. Some of these are like 50, 60 bucks. But when they're framed like this, I don't know what I can do with these. I mean, they have to get a home. But I mean, like, that tape, this must have been done like 25 years ago. Now we have, this is like classic. No matter which characters you love from Star Wars, C-3PO and R2-D2 will always be top 5. They symbolize the franchise so beautifully. So this will always be a popular poster. But same thing, not buku bucks, but I gotta figure out a way to get that tape off it. So these are the full-blown posters that I completely forgot that I had and been flattening out over time. So what happened is I bought the sheets like this, and then I was like, I'm going to put them in there and you'll just straighten them out. And I found out to get a rolled poster into these sleeves is near impossible unless you have them somewhat flattened out versus tightly rolled. So here we are after all these years. Let's see how they look. Well, I guess that answers that question. I mean, when I put these in, they just curl up immediately into a tight roll. So here we have, wow, this is a much tougher poster to find. And this is full-size theater issue posters. These are not fan club, and they're absolutely fantastic shapes. As I was mentioning earlier, I should have some photos I'll be showing right now of the auction. And these are just all thrown in boxes in a corner, and I just did my best to avoid making eye contact with people. Like, oh, what's he up to? Oh my God, there's so much stuff. Trading cards, so many novelties and books, and oh my God, the artwork still haunts me, which we'll get in the next video. Oh my God, I have a Gremlins poster. I almost didn't want to let this one go. That's so nice. Like, I'm being serious. I have no idea. I literally have no idea what I have in here. So, sorry for the bad angle. Wow. I want to keep that one, to be honest with you. Because I'm not going to get this stuff ever again, right? Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. Wow. So now I realize, like, oh yeah, you have not just Star Wars in there, I have Indiana Jones. I completely forgot. God, I remember seeing this in the theater. I was so scared when he decayed towards the end. I left the theater and my mom had to go find me. What else do we have? We have 2 Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. And now we're getting back to some vintage goodiness. Look at that. An original Empire. It was folded, but when I got it, it was rolled. But look at it now. It looks so clean. It has some, looks like it has some pinholes on it. But I mean, still, considering what I paid for this stuff, right? It's the old paper that it's on. Oh my God, I got a Blade Runner? What is going on? And again, it's just so hard to sell some of this stuff because people get confused what's authentic, what's reissued. So like this might only be like $80 for this poster, which is kind of sad, but it's just how the market is. Gotta pull this forward. Okay, so we have a Blade Runner. Damn. Wow. Again, folded original sheet, clean shape. I'm excited. I really don't remember what I have here. This is just like, oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. I guess they'd be really exciting when you get older if you had Alzheimer's and you just wake up every day and you look at your collection and you're like, wow, I didn't even know I had this. This is so awesome. You know, every day is an exciting day, like winning the lottery when you have Alzheimer's and you get older, looking at your collection. We have... No way. Kroll. Dude. I was doing very well at this show. Well, this auction. I was doing very well at this auction. I like how the image is there and they're like, let's add some horses. Yeah, that'll sprucing up this image. No, it was fine the way it is, man. What else? Like what else do we have? I have no idea what I'm pulling out. It should be a lot more Star Wars in here, but oh, dude, I got Labyrinth. Oh, wow, I'm doing much better than I ever imagined. Original one sheet. I gotta take care of this stuff. Dude, I got a Gremlins. So this is a one sheet when they re-released the film. I would think a year later. But, I mean, look at that. Condition's clean. Oh, my God. What else do we have? We have... Oh, you know, when I was going to go through this stuff, I was just going to sell everything. And now I'm like, I don't know, man. Look at that. Nice. Clean Jedi. No pinholes. Ran out of room to put the posters all rolled up. So, The Return of the Greatest Adventure. So the Lost Ark. So I'm not sure if this is a reissue for like a re-release as we saw with Gremlins, or this is the original poster, but still an original Lost Ark poster. We are definitely doing very well. Wow. I'm so proud of myself. You know, then keeping it in clean shape, a little bit of wear here and there. Oh man, we have a lot more to go. It was like 10 to 20 posters per box, easy. So it came out to like roughly $10 a poster. There were some junkier stuff, but you know what? I have no complaints. So this one looks like it has a little tear on the top there, which is okay. Coming May. Wow. Then we have The Last Crusade. Oh my God, I am doing... Again, I just keep pulling posters out, and I'm like, oh my God. I mean, there's going to be a lot more Star Wars. I think it'll all be Empire and Jedi. But like... Wow. Oh no, we got 2. And we now have another Indiana Jones. Wait, there was a third one underneath all this. I messed up. Dude, I am Indiana Jones outing here. We have an original Temple of Doom. And all this was in this guy's collection, and none of it was on display. Kind of the same situation right now. It's kind of sad. And he just had all this stuff. And he collected... Oh, wow. And the guy just collected all this stuff back in the late 70s and 80s. He collected up to the 90s, it looks like, with some little bit of... Like, went to comics and statues after this. But, wow. All pretty clean shape. You know, nothing's ever going to be flawless. So we have Temple of Doom, and then we have the full Temple of Doom poster versus the teaser I just picked up. Oh my God, there's too many posters. There's just too many posters. We have a third Last Crusade. I can't even remember now. We've been through so much. So... we now have a Lost Ark. Now, we already had a Lost Ark, but that one was a different one. This one, I think, is the teaser Lost Ark. Again, a little bit of wear, like a little light crease in the corner there, but I literally have an entire collection of Indiana Jones. All original, no reissue crap. This is showing how I picked up. Oh, now we're into the Star Wars. Oh my God, it just keeps going. Okay, I got to reset and organize. Okay, folks, we are down to the wire. These are the last posters. I was hoping it would just be never ending. Just hours and hours of footage, like just the Matrix. It just keeps generating posters. It never gets any deeper. It just keeps, posters just keep coming. Oh, that'd be great. So we have another, Jedi full poster. Style B. Well, that's the teaser. Oh, wow. Like, at least I can sell a couple of the Indiana Jones. They're duplicates, and I have this duplicate Jedi. And then to wrap it all up, I think this is the last poster. Now, normally I would say this is ending on a high note, but it has the classic hair on his belt, so this is a fake. And I think I got two real ones, an A, well, they're all style A, but like the first release piece, and then I have a mounted like third release piece. But I knew I picked up three fake ones of these that he bought in the 90s. So at least I wasn't like, I knew that when I was bidding on these at the auction that the number of them were fake. But of course, if there's two real ones in there, you'll pay whatever matters. And that's it, guys. And then this ended up being just flat, so there's nothing in there. Wow. That's still pretty impressive. I don't know what the market is on these posters now. They probably went up during 2020, and they went probably straight down after 2022. So I'm still happy with that. We have a number of posters that are not laid out, like Rogue One. A couple are newer posters. I actually have no idea where those are. Maybe I gave them away, to be honest with you. But still, I kept the best of the best. And that's rule number 2 when you buy a collection. You keep the best, you sell the rest. So yeah, I'll get a video together shortly for like the whole sale and just talk about it, because it was absolutely fascinating. Nothing like a person working at the auction house when it's really dead, nothing's going on. They're selling the novelty Star Wars crap, like $20 a box. And the guy brings up a box and it's like $5, $10. Like no one's really like bidding on it. It's all crap Jedi like keychains and light up and stampers. As the guy tilts the box down a little bit further, it's like a box top and that's it. And you're kind of like tilting it down a little bit more. You can see the shimmer of green and yellow, and it's a man-a-man. And then everyone starts getting up on their chairs and like, what? And everyone gets back there, it's like 20, 30. And then our people get up and start digging. There were, I think, 4 complete man-a-mans in that box, and nobody even recognized it during the preliminary show where they talked about what was being sold. And it shot up to course like full retail value, but that was nuts. So we'll get into that. I hope this was somewhat entertaining for you guys. It was kind of just me just chilling and talking to you versus like proper full cuts and edits and just, But thank you for watching, and we'll just have more stuff, and hopefully the rest of the Power Ranger videos will pop up shortly.